Hello and welcome to part 6 of powering up your home office lights using Power Platform. In the last part we looked at how we could build a flow that got the access token from the Logic app and also check if there was an existing user configuration stored in our Microsoft list. In this part we will look into how we can build a flow that enables that user and creates that whitelist identifier for the user. If you haven't done this previously with your user, you will see in the Logic app the following. You have an OK connection to Phillips Hue, but the user is not linked. And I have created this button here, enable link button and whitelist user. That's the same process we use with Phillips Hue, where we attach new lights, for example, or new equipment, and then I have to push the button, but we can do that virtually as well. So the flow looks like this. I've called it Hue, link and whitelist user. I have PowerApps as a trigger. I'm asking via an input about the access token, so I will supply that when I call this flow from the PowerApp. And I'll also get via the trigger outputs and headers, I will bring in the username and the user email of the user triggering that flow. Then I will check if the user is already linked. So I will connect to my site address. This is the theme I created. I will check my list, and via using the filtering, I will check if there are any already linked users by the title column and my user display name. So if you are just starting with this, you have an empty list like this one. Title will contain my username, the display name, and the whitelist identifier will be my username against the Phillips Hue remote API, and the device type is a comment about the device I'm connecting with. For example, the name of your device in this case will be the Power app and the Power Platform device for my user. So back to the flow. If the user is not already linked, then the answer is no. I do a check here with a custom expression. If the response is empty, then the value is false. And this means that I need to enable the link button. So I do a put against the remote API for Hue, and I will just select link button true. Also under advanced options, I can select what kind of authentication I'm running. I'm selected raw and bearer token, and this is the token I also got in as an input to the flow. Then I will add that whitelist identifier. So I will create a username for my user. So against the same URI, I'll add the token as an authorization header, and then I register a body where the name of the device I want to register is the, for example, I've just appended with PowerApps _ and the name of the user's email address and dash remote. This can be anything you want. It's just something to identify this connection for this user. This will provide a response back, so I can go and look at that response. This is the same response that are documented in the Hue remote API, but this will respond back with a success and also a username type string value. Next, I will add that linked user into the list. So specify the list at the site again, and specify the title column to be the user display name, and the whitelist identifier to be the body from the parsed output, which is the success and the username value. And then I will post the device type identifier, and with that a new user should be linked into the list. And then I can get the configuration for that. So then I can go and get the bridge configuration, for example, the IP address and the name of the bridge and so on. And I will respond back to the PowerApp with my output, the name of the bridge, the name, the IP address, the API version, and so on. If I'm already linked, I will just get that user item from the list. So I will just check for the user and get the existing config from the remote API and respond that back to the PowerApp in the same format as this one. So that's the flow. Let's do a test. So when I click on enable link button on whitelist user, it should trigger that flow. And yeah, we got the config of my Hue bridge, the IP address, version, and so on. And if I now go to the list, I will see that I have a new user linked and with a whitelist identifier and my device type. So for every time I now launch or refresh that connection, it will check and find my existing config via the flow we created in the last part. So that concludes this part of the flow. Look into the blog post for details on how to set it up, and see you next time, where we'll start going into the PowerApps soon.